I bought my first property for £39,999, and the bonus is that it had a £20,000 council loan to refurbish the property, which was interest free for 10 years. So if you're interested in learning more about my first property, carry on watching the video, and don't forget to subscribe and comment with any questions that you have, and obviously hit that like button. So I wanted to talk about my first deal. I actually started my property journey in March 2018. I actually saw an Instagram story from my friend who had posted like a seminar or something like that. I wasn't entirely sure what it was, but I asked him a few questions. I just graduated university a couple of months before that, went traveling, did your usual kind of bits and bobs, and then started kind of my first real corporate job. I was quite curious to see what my friend was talking about and where he was at, and you know, wanting to have your own business. And I just saw an opportunity, started learning about property. He recommended a couple of books to me and just started reading them. And as part of one of the books, you get a free networking session that was when it was physical, that you could essentially attend and connect with like-minded people and just understand kind of other people's journeys, especially with people who are presenting their journeys. And it was just quite nice to an easy kind of step in, but I was so nervous I couldn't even go to my first networking meeting. I was so scared, and I was scared to tell people what I was doing with my evening. And yeah, I didn't actually go, and then they basically gave me a second chance to say, hey, you didn't attend, it can be quite daunting, and I just didn't know what to expect. And so I dragged my boyfriend, who I was dating at the time. It was literally very early on, and I asked him to come with me. And it was such an awful experience, and I'm going to do another video about kind of my first networking session because it was awful and it was enough to put me off for life. Somehow I bounced back. I'm not sure how. I can't really remember why I did, but I'm so glad I did. But yeah, I'll do that in another video. But today's video is all about my first deal. So I was very new and I was learning, and I was going to network meetings. I was doing online training on YouTube, on Facebook. There were so many different. I was quite fortunate because two of my aunts are also in property, and one of my aunts actually presented me with an opportunity that she was also going for. So there was two deals, and she'd been working with this particular sourcer, and she knew her, she built a great relationship with her, but she never invested with her. But she took the plunge and started investing with her. She checked out the demand, she checked out the rentals, she checked out the comparables, you know, she vetted this particular sourcer and her power team. And essentially I said I was in property, and she helped me get my feet off the ground by giving me this opportunity. So the purchase price was £39,999. There was a £20,000 council loan to refurbish the property, and there's a lot of paperwork to do with that, hence why the sourcing fee was a little bit more. But there was an option to kind of reduce the sourcing fee but not go through the council loan route. But obviously, being new in property, I kind of wanted to maximize these different types of loans and things like that, so I can, you know, help accelerate my processes and less money is needed up front. My aunt actually convinced my first investor to invest in me and say that it was a great property and a great area. She's done all her research, I've done my research, and on paper it just works. And it was an amazing opportunity, and I basically got the funds. I had to put in about £5,000 of my own money just to do the refurb. The total refurb was £25,000 in total, including furniture and all of those like little things, because it is a fully furnished HMO. And yeah, so all in all, I was in about £60,000, £65,000 with solicitors and all of that stuff. I didn't have a mortgage broker because I couldn't get a mortgage under £40,000 anyway. You can't actually get a mortgage for under £40,000. I bought the property as October 2nd that I completed. I actually met my boyfriend who, yeah, we actually established the relationship, and I remember signing the paperwork in front of him and sending it back to the solicitors, which was just an amazing feeling, like of actually buying a house. I had no clue about properties maybe like 6 months before that, and here I am signing the legal documents. Fast forwarding a couple of months where the refurb was done, it did take a little bit longer because the paint and everything else, it was winter and it just needed some time to dry. And yeah, it just took a little bit longer, and we actually realized there was no electrics or gas meter I can't actually remember what it was at the top of my head now, but there was something missing that was quite crucial to the property, which was like the gas and electrics. And so had to wait a couple of weeks for them to kind of send out the team and get that all installed again. I think someone had actually broken into the house and stole it prior to when I was buying it, which was very annoying because that did delay the process a little bit. But you move and you learn through all of that. And you know, one thing I have learned is that everything takes a lot longer. So even if someone says it takes 8 weeks, it might take 10 or 12 weeks. You just don't know. There's always better to have a contingency than not to have a contingency at all, especially if you're working with finance and private finance or any bridging or mortgage companies. So now that it's been refurbed, I obviously tried to get a mortgage through it, but I was struggling as a first time landlord, and because I don't own my own house, I wasn't getting lending companies wanting to give me a mortgage. They thought I was quite risky and I had to have 12 months of experience. And I don't know if this was my broker kind of telling me all of this or if there was an actual opportunity. In hindsight, I should have checked with other mortgage brokers, but I thought I would just stick to the one that I'm speaking with. And then secondly is that I actually didn't know this until I've been working with my recent broker, and he said because I have 4 failed credit card payments, I basically have 2 American Expresses, and I missed 2 months of payments just because I was lazy and didn't pay it off in time. I was like, oh yeah, I'll just do that like another day, and just didn't. Anyways, that has very much impacted me getting lending on this particular property. I was getting interest rates that were literally like 4.5%, 4%, etc., which was very high when, you know, if I didn't have these failed credit reports, it would have been like 2.5%, 2.8%, which does make a massive difference. It's not the end of the world. I mean, I still haven't got a mortgage on it. I am looking to get a mortgage on it now. Obviously it's, you know, my money is just sitting there and I could have made it to better use at the moment, but I've just been struggling with this mortgage and trying to see what the best option is, especially with mini mos. They're like down valued a little bit compared to what it would be for a normal buy-to-let or what a normal residential would be. I don't know why. I think it's a little bit more risky trying to sell a ready-made mini mo for kind of what the actual price is worth, or that kind of higher value that you perceive it as. But yeah, that's about my first property. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below and I will reply to them, or send me a message on Instagram. My Instagram is radhika_allaboutproperty, and I will catch you in the next video.